Hello, friends, and thank you as always for visiting the Legend Sports Universe YouTube channel, Legend Sports Universe, where legends play forever. We have reached week 6 of year 2 of the Franchise Stars Football League, and after a disappointing year 1 that saw them miss the postseason, the Steelers have shown signs of putting it together here in year 2 of the FSFL. Their defense has shored up its early season holes, and Jack Lambert and company will look to put the wraps on the league's leading rusher, Earl Campbell, in a statement game, they hope. As Pittsburgh visits the undefeated defending champion Oilers, the Oilers just continue to impress. At every turn, their defense is balanced, their offense is carried by the two-headed monster of Earl Campbell and Derrick Henry. That tandem has rushed for almost 900 yards through the first 5 weeks. Just a ridiculously solid performance. That has opened up the passing game where George Blanda, though he has thrown 6 interceptions, Blanda leads the league in touchdown passes with 14. So we will see what gives here on a Monday night broadcast. In the game context, obviously. It's a lunchtime broadcast on a Thursday afternoon in real life, but we won't worry about that. Antonio Brown takes it in the end zone, downs the kick, and the Steelers will prepare to start. Wayne March joins us. How are you, my friend? It is great to see you. I hope all is well with you, sir. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Check out Wayne's fabulous channel for all the baseball action you could possibly want. Willie Parker still on the injured list for the Steelers. He is supposed to be back next week, but Dick Hoke will carry the load again this week for the Steelers. Pickup of 5 there on first down. Got to figure the Steelers are going to have to establish the running game a bit here in this one. Keep the ball out of the Oilers' hands as much as possible, and not let Campbell and Henry grind them into the ground. Hoke again, good shifty running there from Hoke. Picks up 6 out to the 35. That'll move the sticks. Ray Childress on the tackle for the Oilers, but a first down for Pittsburgh. And Roethlisberger missed a week with injury, but returned. The Steelers come off a steamrolling victory over the lowly Houston Texans, although the Texans did get their first win in FSFL history 2 weeks ago against the Ravens. After losing their first 20 games in the year plus of the FSFL, the Texans finally got a win against a Ravens squad that is winless here in year 2. Rocky Bleier was stopped on that last carry, 2nd and 10, pass there. That's out of the backfield. That's John Fuqua. Roethlisberger hits him. Picks up 11, and it's a first down for Pittsburgh. Nice efficient start here for the Steelers. Bill Cowher, again, ignore the coach images on the sideline. Bill Cowher coaches these Steelers. Jerry Glanville coaches the Oilers. Hoke to the outside. He's brought down. I believe that was Godfrey on this stuff. Pickup of 2, Randall Godfrey in there on the tackle. That'll bring up 2nd and 8. Off it's Hoke again. Fights his way forward. Hoke, I thought he was going to lose some yardage there. Ends up turning nothing into a 3-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5. Across the 50 into Oilers territory. Delayed draw. They give it to Hoke again, and a big hole up the middle. DeMonte Dawson and company open up a gaping hole, and the Steelers trying to run it right down the Oilers' throat, dipping into the Oilers' playbook there. Nice job from Hoke so far. He had a good game against the Texans last week after being stifled by the Colts the week prior, in week 4. Again, Willie Parker, sideline. You could give Parker the ball a couple times today, but that is unlikely to occur. Dwyer picks up a yard there. 2nd and 9. Almost done with the Week 6 sim games that, obviously the games that every game here in the FSFL is played out. I do it from the whole league in exhibition mode because of limitations of franchise mode as far as playbooks go. Keith Bullock is shaken up on the play there for the Oilers. That would be a significant loss for them. He misses any time. He's keeping the helmet on, though. Got to think Bullock will find his way back into this game. 3rd and 8 coming up here. We'll see what Roethlisberger and the Steelers dial up. Roethlisberger rolls right, throws on the move. It's complete, but it'll be short of the first down. Down to the 27. Johnston on the stop. Plaxico Burris with the reception. Burris has been the Steelers' leading receiver here in year 2. It looks like Gary Anderson will come on for the 44-yard attempt. 11th play of this opening drive for Pittsburgh. Coming up on the 9-minute mark. Anderson puts it up, and it's through. So the Steelers get 3 on the opening drive. Good start for Pittsburgh. Obviously, would have liked to come away with 6 instead of 3, but they'll take the points to get things started. 9:02 left in the first. Steelers 3. Oilers will get their first possession coming up. Wayne, I have a host of your broadcasts to get caught up on. Try to do that during work. Probably some of it today and some of it on Sunday. Kickoff there. Billy White Shoes Johnson takes it at the 8, out across the 20, looks for a hole. Nothing really forms. He gets out across the 25 to the 26, though. Decent return for Johnson. And the Oilers will start off with George Blanda at the helm. And Blanda has had a solid season so far. He is throwing a few too many interceptions. He had a 3-interception game. I remember who that was. 3 picks. There's Earl Campbell. Picks up 6 on his first catch. Against the Browns. He got picked off against the Browns 3 times. But they still were able to win that game 24-22. On vacation till December. Oh, that's an awesome break for you, Dwayne. Enjoy the time off. Hand off there, Campbell. Campbell out to the 40, gets a first down, so 2 carries, and Campbell doing Earl Campbell things. Minka Fitzpatrick on the stop. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 40. Henry gets his first carry of the game, and he picks up 6. Just feels like Campbell and Henry get 4, 5, 6 yards every single time they get the ball. They just wear defenses down. You have to play them. You have to think about the run, and that opens stuff up for Blanda. And off Campbell again. Campbell tries to get outside. He gets undercut. Nice tackle there by Lambert. Lambert cuts Campbell down at the ankles. Down at the 47. It'll be 3rd and 3. Both teams going to the ground in the early going. Give it to Campbell again. First down. Polamalu hits him, but not until he gets the first down marker in the Steelers' territory down to the 46. And it's a fresh set for the Oilers. These 2 teams keep running it like this. We're going to zip through this game. Clock hasn't stopped yet. And off again. Campbell shakes through a tackle. Brought down, picks up 3, 5 carries, 24 yards already for Campbell. Mel Blount comes up for the stop. It'll be 2nd and 7. I was saying before, I'm almost done simming through the games for Week 6, so I should have a Week 7 broadcast, possibly even tomorrow. again, I'm not doing those weekly highlight shows anymore, which is disappointing. And I did a full stream talking about the time issues. For some, just using free time for a little bit more health reason stuff for myself. Not that there's anything terrible, nothing that bad. Just trying to take better care of myself a little bit. But again, if you think about it this way, those highlight videos were taking between 10 and 12 hours put together, between splicing all the game videos to get all the highlights and doing the image placards that went along with it and recording the voiceovers. Plus, because every game is played out, the games take an hour and a half a pop, 16 games per week on the schedule. So it's 24 hours just to get the games done, and then 10 to 12 to do those highlight videos. It was basically a full-time job's worth of hours to get a single week done production-wise. And it just, I wasn't sure I was going to like doing the videos, and I did like putting those highlight videos together, and a lot of people seem to like them too. It's just from a time perspective, I won't have time for any of the other projects in this hobby if I'm devoting that much time to doing the whole thing. So it's just kind of became a matter of having to give there. And the highlight videos ended up being what went by the wayside. I'll probably do occasional wrap-up videos. Like after week 7, I'll probably do the 14-week season. I'll probably do a mid-season, kind of a where we stand video. But the weekly highlight videos were just too time-consuming. I still got to get all the rookies added for year 5 of the Franchise Stars Baseball League. I have started, and there is not a start date for this, but I have started development of the Franchise Stars Hockey League. So it just became a matter of having to budget my time best as Hope gets across midfield into Oilers territory. And again, at the pace that I have been going with this, it became a lot of, I wasn't advancing seasons because I was waiting until I had time to do a broadcast. And that drags the seasons out too much. I built the whole Legend Sports universe and all these Franchise Stars leagues. Everybody loves the fact that I built them with this long-term goal in mind. And players enter at different times, and not everybody's there at the start. And it has a career mode feel and a franchise feel, which is great, except that the seasons take too long to get through. I'm never going to get through enough seasons for that setup to really matter. You're not going to feel the benefit of it because I'm not going to get more than 2 or 3 seasons down the line, which defeats the purpose of setting it up this way. So I'm doing a lot more simming stuff and advancing stuff on my own, and I'm just going to broadcast stuff when I have the urge. Although I do want to be consistent about, I do want to always broadcast playoffs. That is, I think people enjoy the playoff broadcasts a lot. They're a little more invested in those. So I do want to broadcast playoff games, pretty much all of them. So to do that, I just have to budget my time a bit better to get through seasons to make the way I set this all up actually matter. Tip almost picked off and almost caught by Antonio Brown after the deflection. So that hit off an Oilers defender and then off Brown, who almost reels it in. It falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Steelers. 20 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Hand off up the middle. It's Blyer. 4 carries for Rocky Blyer. Just going to ask about an update video, thinking like, yeah, I mean, an update video I can do because I can create the stats. That's the other thing. Because I'm not running this league in franchise mode, as the first quarter comes to a close, 3-0 Pittsburgh, they're on the move again. And they're just running the ball down the Oilers' throat. Both teams run heavy. That's why he zipped through that first quarter so quickly. I'm manually adding the stats into Excel for every team after every game. So just the football season is the most time-consuming of any of the projects. And again, so just spending an extra 10 to 12 hours to put together the weekly highlight video just is a lot. It seems like time I can better spend elsewhere, either simming through games, playing out games, or developing stuff for creating players and adding players into the games for the other projects too to get them moving along. 1st and 10, Roethlisberger drops back over in the middle. That's complete down to about the 15. Roethlisberger, 5 of 6. That's Hope for 8 out of the backfield. Only 41 yards passing for Roethlisberger, but again, it has been an efficient ball control offense so far for the Steelers. So far, it's working. But yeah, Dwayne, after 7, the midway point of the year, I will do a mid-season update, go through all the leaders, and that ball's picked. Roethlisberger is picked off, and I'm not sure anybody's going to get him. That's Fred Glick, and he's going to go to the house, and just like that, the Steelers' fortunes have changed. Glick picks off Roethlisberger, pick 6 Oilers, and just like that, it's 6-3. And the undefeated Love Ya Blues take the lead here early in the second. Roethlisberger looks out to the wing, and Glick just jumped it. He was looking for Eric Green there, his big tight end. And Roethlisberger just didn't seem like he put enough zip on that ball. Getting it out there to the side, and Glick jumps the route. Baronis will come on here for the extra point. It is up and good, 7-3 Oilers. Dwayne notes what a difference one play makes. No joke, the Steelers were looking really solid here. And again, just like that, it turns. So now we'll see how the Steelers recover from that. It's been a very impressive first 15 minutes and change for Pittsburgh. We'll see if they manage to undo it with one poor throw from Roethlisberger. Second interception of the season for Glick. Here's the kickoff, taken from the end zone. Brown is not going to try to return it. The Steelers will start off from their 20. And you see Hope, 10 carries, 66 yards. Hope's done a nice job so far. Again, the Steelers are winning the battle on the lines. They need to not panic here and keep going with what's worked for them. They are going to pass on first down. Roethlisberger stands in, pass to the right side. Complete, but it's fumbled. I think they're going to say that right now that's ruled a fumble, but I think Burris hit the ground before that ball came out. Let's take a look. There's the catch. Yeah, he's down before that comes out. That's going to get overturned. Johnston hits him down. Godfrey falls on the ball. The Oilers will try to run a quick play here before the review happens, but no such luck. Almost a disaster there for the Steelers. This could be a 14-point difference. Looks like the Steelers were going to score a TD. Yeah, I mean that's a huge, huge swing. The difference from being up 10-0 to being down 7-3. It is ruled a fumble. Or it is ruled that the ground forced the fumble rather. Steelers ball, 2nd and 4. Here's Hope. Hope tries to get to the outside. There's nothing there. He is greeted very by George Webster for a stop. That'll be 3rd and 7. One setback is Hope. Roethlisberger drops back. Pass to the near side. That's complete. That's Antonio Brown. He'll have the first down out to the 39. Roethlisberger trying to shake off the pick 6. Good to get a completion there under his belt here on this drive. And off it's Hoke again. They are running him heavy. Out across the 40 to the 43. Pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. I formation behind Roethlisberger. Rolls right, throws right, complete along the sideline. Not much of a pickup, though. Driven out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and 6. This Oilers defense is tenacious. They've got a kind of a mix of a guy across areas. They've got a lot of old school guys, actually, old Oilers, 60s. Those defenses were really solid. Got a lot of guys from that, some of the guys from the 70s defenses as well. Roethlisberger over the middle, that's complete. There's Eric Green. Again, the big tight end, big target, first catch of the game for Green. He picks up 9. He will get into Oilers territory. So the Steelers back on the move here. 1st and 10 from the 48. Roethlisberger possibly changing things up there. Stands incomplete. That's Burris. Quick little slant route down inside the 35, and we've got an injured Steeler. And it's Larry Brown, the lineman. Looks like a hamstring issue. Keep an eye on that. So down to the Oilers 33. Steelers have moved the ball. Again, a hugely disappointing season for the Steelers last year, who were considered, going into the season, they were expected to be one of the top teams in the AFC. They didn't make the postseason. Pressure, and down to Roethlisberger, loses it. Roethlisberger loses it. It's picked up by Webster. Unbelievable. The Oilers are going to get a second defensive touchdown. That one was a fumble, and that is a score. George Webster takes it the distance. Unbelievable. The Steelers. Wow. A pick 6, and then Elvin Bethea knocks it loose from Roethlisberger from behind. Webster picks it up, takes it the distance, and the Oilers, with 2 defensive touchdowns, are going to take a 14-3 lead here early in the second quarter. Unbelievable. The Steelers are moving the ball. And they trail 14-3, a pair of turnovers. And, oh boy, that one hurts. That one hurts. A pick 6 and a fumble picked up and taken the distance. Now, you got to figure the Oilers' defense is going to get tired here because they've been on the field a huge amount. But they're producing. 2 defensive touchdowns for the Oilers, 14-3. Got to see the total yardage stat because, I mean, the Steelers are moving the ball. This is as good as the Steelers' offenses look. Here's Antonio Brown out across the 20. Man, that's a rough one. That is a rough one if you're the Steelers. You're trying to make a statement game here on the road against the best team in the conference to this point, the defending champs. And you're doing everything you should be doing offensively. But you've turned it over twice, and they've both gone the other way for scores. Hoke out across the 30 to the 34. We're going to have to keep an eye on Hoke, too. You know, to talk about the Oilers' defense having been on the field so much of this one, obviously the same holds true for the Steelers' offense, and Hoke is carrying a heavy load here. And he's not getting any kind of a break. Handoff, and they do bring in Parker. Now, technically, Parker is injured. Parker is moved to the last guy on the depth chart because he's still supposed to be out. But again, they're running so much they get Parker in there for possibly a couple carries. They're down by 2 scores. The offense has barely touched the ball. Yeah, no kidding. It almost feels like the Steelers need points on this drive. Just something to reclaim a little bit of momentum. There's Fuqua. That was an interesting graphic glitch there. They acted like that was Derrick Henry on the sideline, but Henry has the long hair and all that stuff. I clearly wasn't him. That was one. I've never seen that one before. Minor, but funny. 3rd and 3 from the 41. They're going to try to run it, and the Oilers are having none of that. Hoke gets stopped for a loss of 2. Elvin Bethea, who forced the fumble earlier, comes through for the stop, and the Steelers are going to have to punt. Well, surely my saying that they needed points on this drive probably had an impact on that. Hoke will come on to punt for the first time today. Billy Johnson takes it at the 20. Out across the 25, out across the 30. Nice little return for Johnson out to the 32. So the Oilers offense, we haven't seen you much. But they get back on the field here with a 14-3 lead that their defense has handed them. High formation. Landa drops back. Pass there, slant, complete. First down out across the 45. That's Charlie Henning. Out to the 46. That'll move the chains. 15-yard pickup there. And off Campbell. Oh, good. One-on-one tackle there, and Campbell is brought down. Levon Kirkland. Yeah, Campbell can steamroll a lot of guys. Levon Kirkland. He's a big, strong linebacker. Stands him up there. Drags him down for the 1-yard pickup. Second and 9. Blanda drops. Pass over the middle. Complete. That's out. Mentioned Willie Parker being dinged up. L.C. Greenwood is dinged up as well for the Steelers. They got a couple of injuries they're coping with at the moment. Campbell tries to get outside, and no thank you, sir. Nicely done breaking through there by Brett Kiesel. Kiesel stops him for a loss. So the Steelers defense doing a good job against Campbell to this point. Again, all 14 Oilers points, a pair of defensive touchdowns. A pick six from Fred Glick, a fumble return by George Webster after Elvin Bethea knocked the ball loose, sacking Ben Roethlisberger. And the Oilers have not pressured the quarterback much this year. As good as their defense has been, they have only had 8 sacks as a defense through the first 5 weeks. First and 10, Steelers start from their 23. And off Hoke. Good shifty running there from Hoke out across the 30 to the 32. Hoke already has 15 carries in this first half. But he's been productive. He's over the 80-yard mark. Hoke's going to get a season's worth of carries from year one in this one game. And off, that's Rocky Blyer. Fights his way for the first down. 5th carry for Blyer. Steelers closing in on 100 yards rushing as a team in this first half. Roethlisberger threw an interception in the red zone that Fred Glick took the distance. They were driving again when Roethlisberger fumbled on the Bethea sack. I mean, the Steelers have moved the ball as well as anybody has moved the ball on this Oilers defense, and they have 3 points to show for it. An 11-point deficit to boot. 2nd and 5 from the 38. And off again. And Hoke continues to run strong. Impressive stuff from Dick Hoke so far. There's got to be a limit. They're going to give Blyer the ball a little bit more. Let John Fuqua get involved in the running game. Give it to the fullback a bit. You might see Willie Parker get a couple of carries, even though he's still dinged up. 3rd and inches. And Blyer can't get it. Blyer, I don't know why he tried to pop that ball outside. All he had to do was go straight up. think he's got, well, okay, that was I misread that. I thought there was a hole there for him to get through. It really it did close up a bit, so. We'll give Flyer the, now, oh wait, so they call it, no, now I gotta see how that goes. It looked like they had them call a timeout. It says timeout. So they took a timeout at the 2-minute warning. Now I got to see if it's because it came up saying it was the 2-minute warning also, but it also said that they were taking a timeout to try to get the clock stopped. Interesting. I don't know if that was glitchy or I've never seen that happen. So we'll technically, if they took, I mean, you can take a timeout there, though there's no real reason why you would. But anyway, the Oilers have it. 1:51 left in the first half. They start from their 19. They have 2 timeouts. So they were hit with taking a timeout there, even though the clock got to the 2-minute mark. Got to imagine that Jack Lambert was losing his mind on the sideline, saying he didn't mean to call a timeout at that point. But, oh well, too bad for him. 14-3 Oilers, minute 48 left, 2nd and 10. Swung wide, that's Alvin Reed. Reed out to the 28, it'll be 3rd and 1. Appreciate you tuning in for an early afternoon broadcast. A lunch hour for many of you working. Starting point. Start with 3 for Knights. Gets the game in before. Blanda floats one out right side, incomplete. So on 3rd and 1, Landville probably overthinking that. Just run the ball. Let Campbell and Henry get the yard, keep the clock moving. Move the sticks. Then you can pass and try to get down the field from there. Try to give Barones a shot at least at 3 before halftime. Instead, the Steelers, with 3 timeouts in their pocket, will get the ball back with a little over a minute remaining. Round brought down at the 27. 1:10 left in the half. 14-3 Oilers. Steelers will start off from their 27. 2 costly turnovers for a Pittsburgh offense that has moved the ball very well today. Roethlisberger in the gun. Pressure up the middle, and down he goes. Curly Culp with the sack, 2nd sack of the game for the Oilers. And that was just a rush right up the middle. Guards pulled. Culp shot right through the gap. Sacked for a loss of 6. 2nd and 16. Berger drops. Stands complete. Poke out of the backfield. Out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage. Roethlisberger 11 of 14, but only 97 yards. And he did force that pick 6 from Fred Glick. 3rd and 10 from the 28. Roethlisberger into the gun, Hope to his left. Cross back, pressure from the weak side again. Roethlisberger steps up, fires towards the sideline, incomplete. Pressure was coming from the corner on the near side. It'll be 4th down, 3 and out for the Steelers. We'll punt it away here. 34 ticks left in the first half. Johnson takes it at the 29 or so, out to about the 35. Six seconds remain. This has been an incredibly frustrating half for the Steelers. Pass there to left side, incomplete. Blanda's only 3 of 7. The Steelers' defense has been terrific. And again, your offense is moving the ball very well. Your defense is playing terrific. and you're down 14-3 heading to the half. That is just an unfortunate series of events for the Steelers. Pass there, that's complete. That's Smith. Tim Smith out across the 45, 46. 11-yard pickup, first down. Lambert brings them down. Oilers use their second timeout. Barones has a good leg, but you still got to get him about 20 yards. Give him a crack at it. Landa drops. Pass left side. Complete. Down inside the 45, but brought down inbounds. They will have to burn a timeout there. That's their last timeout. That's Drew Hill. Fitzpatrick on the stop. Derrick Henry is the lone setback here for the Oilers. And stands in. Looks, right side complete. Oh, you can't allow that completion there if you're the Steelers. Their defense has been so good, but that's a terrible completion to allow. Smith on the sideline gets out of bounds down to the 29. And now they're in field goal range for Rob Barones. 11 ticks left on the clock. We'll see if they try to run another play. They're not going to. With no timeouts, they're not going to take a chance. So Barones from 46. Kick, and that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. Barones misses it. So Barones, a chance to give them 3 before half, fails to do so, and the Steelers catch a break there. 7 ticks left on the clock. We'll see if Roethlisberger decides to try to air one out here. And they do not. They act on the side of caution. Swings it to Hope, who does step out of bounds. Pickup of 3, 2nd and 7, 3 seconds left. Gotta figure there's going to be a Hail Mary involved here. We have seen 2 Hail Marys during the season so far, with a PI called on them. Doesn't seem to be one here. That's knocked down, and that'll get us into the tunnel for halftime. So an interesting first half. The Steelers have played very, very well. They still trail 14-3. A pair of defensive touchdowns from the Oilers. 46 offensive snaps for the Steelers to 19 for the Oilers. The Fred Glick pick 6. Assume they will show the George Webster fumble return for the touchdown as well. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe because the Glick return will take up so much time. Yep, they just showed that one. That's fine. So before George Webster gets shunned from the halftime highlights. We'll get the second half going here. Look, the Steelers, if you're the Steelers going into the tunnel there, you just have to be pumping each other up, saying, look, we know we're playing well here. Had a couple of unfortunate turnovers that blew that half apart for us, but we've had the better of the play. Keep on doing what we're doing. Don't turn the ball over anymore. This is a very winnable game, the way the Steelers have played. This opening drive will be very significant. Kickoff, Billy Johnson waits for it for the Oilers. Takes it at the 5. Out across the 20. White Shoes is brought down at the 21, and that's where the Oilers will start off in the second half. Oilers don't even have 100 yards of offense. Handoff, Campbell looks for a hole, doesn't find much. 9 carries, 23 yards for the league's leading rusher, Earl Campbell. The Steelers have done a terrific job so far. Lambert up on the stop there. Meeting of 2 of the best ever, Lambert and Earl Campbell. Lambert drops back, Swings this one complete. That's Alvin Reed. First down and more. Out across the 35, out to about the 40. Landa now 7 of 11 for 84 yards. That'll be a first down for the Oilers. He had some space up there ahead of him. Good closing there by the Steelers defense, but it does move the chains. First and 10. Switching things at the line. Polamalu looks like he's showing they was going to blitz and then backed off. Swung out in the flat for Campbell. Polamalu comes up, brings him down. Pick up a 5. Second and 5 for the Oilers. Lambert trying to get that Steelers defense revved up. Back. Landa swings it again to Campbell in the flat. And again, a good, solid, open field tackle, though, by the Steelers. Second catch, back-to-back receptions for Campbell, and that was Lambert. Lambert usually plugging the middle, ended up getting outside and covering on that one with Campbell. Perhaps the Steelers are shadowing Campbell with Lambert, at least some of the time. 3rd and 1. And up there's Derrick Henry. Henry has the first down. Inside the Steelers' 45, only the second touch for Henry. Down to the 42. Mel Blount comes up for the tackle, but the chains will move for the Oilers. I love these Oilers uniforms. I really do. Always one of the faves. 1st and 10 from the 42. It's Henry, and Henry is plugged. Jack Ham introduces himself to Derrick Henry brutally. Loss of 4 at the 45. It'll be 2nd and 14. High formation behind Landa. Short drop. Pass on the slant behind his receiver. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 14. Bang that like button if you have not as of yet. Hopefully. If you have not subscribed as of yet, you will consider doing so. Would be greatly appreciated. Landa fires. Left side incomplete. There's a flag on the play, though. And it's going to be a pass interference call on Dwayne Woodruff. Woodruff grabs the receiver there. And instead of a 4th down and a punt, the Oilers get a first down to the 31. Landa drops back. Swings it. Campbell, again, out in the flat. Polamalu comes up for the stop. Campbell drags him. Picks up 7. That is a brutal penalty for the Steelers. And, 3 plays in this game now, basically undoing the Steelers. Especially, that third one, that being that penalty, if the Oilers get any points out of this drive. Second and 3. Landa drops. Slant complete. Hennigan over the middle. Down inside the 15. Actually spot him at the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 as we get inside the 10-minute mark here in quarter number 3. Mel Blount with the stop for Pittsburgh. Landa drops pressure up the middle. That's Lambert, and Lambert's going to drive him to the grass. Lambert does not blitz on the pass stuff much. But he comes right up the chute there, and Jack Lambert hammers Landa for the sack. As Lambert tries to lead this Steelers defense to put the brakes on this drive for the Oilers. Sack for a loss of 11, 2nd and 21. Steelers showing blitz again here. And off Campbell up the middle. There's nothing there for him. 10 carries for 23 yards. Jack Ham with the tackle there. And Campbell leads the league in rushing. He's averaging more than 5 yards per carry. Steelers have done a terrific job here today. 3rd and 21. This is a must stop. To state the obvious. Blanda hit as he throws. That's a wounded duck, and it's going to go out of the back of the end zone. Incomplete. He takes a shot. And that was L.C. Greenwood, and Greenwood is dinged up. But Greenwood gets through there. Again, hopefully trying to get some inspiring play for the Steelers. The sack from Lambert. The pressure there from Greenwood. And now Baronis from 43 yards out puts this one up, and it is good. So the Oilers get 3. The penalty, pass interference penalty on Woodruff hurts. But hurts a little bit less. With it only being a field goal, it's still a 2-score game. 17-3 Oilers. 8:02 left in the 3rd quarter. Now we'll see what the Steelers can do. Their first shot here in the second half. Taken at the goal line, Brown's going to bring it. Out across the 20, out to the 23. Roethlisberger gets back to work. Again, Terry Bradshaw was the starter in year 1, and the Steelers just couldn't get things going. Bradshaw was benched about 2/3 of the way through the season. Roethlisberger replaced him. Steelers went on a late season run but fell short of the postseason, and Roethlisberger has had the starting duties here in year 2. That said, it is hard to imagine a scenario where the Steelers trade away Terry Bradshaw. That broadcast I do after Week 7. Week 7 will also be the trade deadline. I finish formulating my system for handling trades. Again, just for doing stuff outside of franchise mode because of the playbooks issue. 3rd and 4 for the Steelers. Roethlisberger drops. Pass complete. That's Burris. First down out to the 39. Good conversion there. 5th catch of the game for Burris. Kicks on the stop. There are certainly teams in the league who could use a quarterback. There are certainly teams in the league who have very solid quarterbacks not starting right now. Brett Favre backing up Bart Starr in Green Bay. Obviously Bradshaw here. Those are the 2 most notable. Handoff, and Hope gets to the outside. First down into Oilers territory to the 45. Hope gets over the 100-yard mark for the day. Easily the best game so far of Dick Hoke's career. He's doing a nice job here. Again, the Steelers are playing well. 2 defensive touchdowns by the Oilers, sabotaging what has otherwise been a very strong effort by the Steelers. Nothing there for Blyer. He's not found much daylight in this one. 7 carries, 12 yards for Rocky Blyer. On the 5-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Wait, just do me a favor and trade Terry to the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens have been really bad. They've Tony Banks. Banks may get benched, but if Banks gets benched, it's Kyle Bowler. So you're not exactly steeped in great options there for your Ravens right now. The Ravens are winless on the season. It's just Ray Lewis and Ray Rice, and then just a lot of hoping. Pass there complete. That's Burris down inside the 25. Down to the 24. First down. And down in Baltimore, Brian Billick may see himself out of a job, actually, in this. Yeah, that's very true. That actually happened in real life, yeah. 2 Rays and not a heck of a lot else. Michael McCrary's a solid defensive lineman. I mean, they got a couple of guys, but nothing that keeps up with the other teams in this league. Hoke keeps the feet running, gets down inside the 20. Pickup of 7. So Hoke taking advantage of the extra playing time with the injury to Willie Parker, and he's done a nice job here in this one. And he was pretty solid against the Texans last week, but the Texans are horrible. He was stuffed by the Colts first game after Parker's. Riding them hard, first down. 22nd carry of the game for Hope. Down to the 13. The Steelers need this, and the Steelers can't come out of this with 3. I mean, not that it means the game's over by any means, but if you're the Steelers, you've got a chance here to take momentum back in this game. You have to get this drive into the end zone. Roethlisberger drops. Pass. Dumps it off. Complete, but for nothing. Mr. Gorecki, good to see you, sir. Yeah, this has been a good one. The Steelers, really, with their best showing, they've moved the ball well on offense against a tough Oilers defense. Their defense has bottled up Earl Campbell, and they're down 17-3. Roethlisberger hit as he throws, incomplete. Roethlisberger threw a pick 6 earlier in the red zone, and then was sacked and fumbled on the sack, and the fumble was returned for a touchdown. The Oilers have 2 defensive touchdowns in this game. 3rd and 10 here, a big third down situation here for the Oilers. Oh, that's such a conservative play call there. Oh, boy. Cower goes for the draw. Oh, and settle for 3. I know it's 3rd and 10, but I think you've got to take a crack. I mean, Gary Anderson's going to hit from 27 or 35. You got to take a crack there. That's being a little bit gun shy after the pick 6 earlier, and feeling like you've got to come out of this with points. But I don't know. That's a win for the Oilers defense there. That is a very conservative call from Cower. It is only still the 3rd quarter, but I don't know. The way Pittsburgh has done so much right in this game and was still trailing by 14, I feel like you had to try to go aggressively for 7 points there. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. It's also Cower showing faith in his defense. They have done a terrific job in this one. Billy Johnson takes it out across the 20, out to the 25. Polamalu brings him down. Let me see. Wayne says, my opinion, they should have the rights to Jim Brown, autogram, and the rest of the Browns. They're the ones linked to those players. And Brown should be the expansion. That's fair. Well, that would have been real. Honestly, that kind of would have been a pain in the ass to do. But I do get what you're saying. I probably took the path of least resistance there, honestly. Dropping back. Completed pass there. Landa to Drew Hill. First down, out across the 35 to the 36. No Blount on the stop. I formation, handoff, Campbell. And once again, the Steelers are all over Earl Campbell. Loss of 3. 12 carries, 20 yards on the day for Earl Campbell. You do not see that stat line very much. Well, if you're wondering about, if you're questioning, as I did, Cower going for the field goal on that last Steelers drive. Their defense making plays like that leans into why he made that call. 2nd and 13. Landa rolls out, swings it incomplete. Landa now 12 of 19 for 119. Third down here. The Steelers cannot allow a third down conversion here. Cannot let Tennessee convert on this one. Stops. Stands in, looks, swings it left-hand side, incomplete, and the Oilers will have to punt. So the Steelers' defense comes through, as Cower was counting on. And the Oilers will have to punt here. Still almost the full fourth quarter. We're only 9 seconds into the fourth. So plenty of time left for the Steelers to get something rolling here. Fair catch called by Antonio Brown. Steelers will start from the 18. The one I mentioned earlier on that I have started development of the Franchise Stars Hockey League, and talk about franchise moves and splits and shifts and all that kind of stuff. Hockey has seen a ton of it. Hoke breaks it! Hoke takes off into the Oilers territory inside the 40. Hoke explodes through the hole there. Dick Hoke has been averaging a little bit over 3 yards a carry so far this season. Wow, he was like on skates there, and he fake spread Glick out of his shoes. Glick, who had that pick 6 before. But a big run there for Dick Hoke, who is having a career day here for the Steelers. They'd probably be sharing some of the load with Rocky Blyer, but Blyer hasn't gotten anywhere. But Blyer is in there now. First and 10 from the 35. Roethlisberger draws set. Stands in, looks, tries to find some space. Roethlisberger's going to take it himself down inside the 30. He hits the deck, picks up 5. It's 2nd and 5. Good job there from Roethlisberger. More elusive than he looks. High formation, handoff. There's Blyer. Blyer gets behind a blocker, picks up 3, down to the 26, 3rd and 2. Handoff there, and that's stopped. So the Oilers come up with a big stop on 3rd and 2. Randall Godfrey comes up for the hit. That's Blyer. You can see Hoke is starting to wear down. Or at least, I shouldn't say wear down because he had a huge carry last time. But now here's Gary Anderson. 46-yard attempt for Anderson. This kick is up, and it is good. Anderson puts it through. So the field goal from Anderson, his 3rd of the game, slips it inside the left upright. And it is an 8-point game, 12:04 left. 17-9 Oilers. Earning the Oilers, but not on the roster. He's not on the current roster. He'll come in eventually. Dwayne says, I bet with hockey, with teams moving cities, getting that, yeah. New teams, what a headache. Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm trying to, but like the Winnipeg, you've got now Winnipeg Jets, who aren't really the original Winnipeg Jets, because the old Jets, now I'm even trying to remember off the top of my head what the move was. They went to become the Coyotes, and then the Atlanta Thrashers moved, and like it's just hockey is just a mess. But it's funny because Greg goes and mentions Irsay, and that's the thing. So then like if we did the Browns and Ravens like and make the Cleveland Browns their own thing, it's like, well, then you have the old Baltimore team moves to Indianapolis. It's like got moves all over the place, and it's just kind of basically just try to honor the integrity of the franchise as best as you can. It's really all you can do in those situations. Hand off to Campbell, picks up a yard. Stopped by Kirkland. I'll tell you, man, the Steelers have been so impressive defensively with the job that they've done on Earl Campbell in this game. Dropping back, Landon. Pass complete to Hill right near the first down mark. And they say he got it to the 46, third catch of the game for Drew Hill. No, Blount's on the stop. High formation behind Blandy. Handoff. There's Campbell. Campbell's best run of the day is a first down inside the Steelers 30. So Campbell lowers the boom, gets some space, and gets down to the Steelers 29. That's what the Oilers needed. High formation. Handoff. Campbell. And Campbell has his legs cut out from under him by Lambert. Lambert made a similar play to that earlier. 6 solo tackles on the day for Lambert. In the top 10 in the league in tackles, not surprising. 2nd and 11. Greg says, I know people from Baltimore that used to see at Grey Cups that never returned to watch the NFL after they lost. Yeah, I've heard that. That was kind of a soul-crushing move. And then Derrick Henry gets the carry. Not much there. It's Lambert again. So Lambert just trying to lead this Steelers defense here. This Steelers defense, they got a great draw for year one. Personnel-wise, they've got a lot of their most talented guys, but Lambert is the leader. 3rd and 10. Now the Oilers play it conservatively, and they end up getting a loss there. Loss of 2, so you understand this one from the Oilers' perspective a little bit more, because a field goal here turns it back into a 2-score game. But the loss there of 3 will make it a 48-yard kick. Baronis certainly has the leg for that. Big kick here from Rob Baronis. Steve McNair on the hole. Here's the kick. It is up. And no good. Baronis misses the kick. I got to see. I think that might have hit the upright. Nope, it was just wide. So Baronis hooks it left, and it stays a 1-score game. And Dick Hoke will check back in here for the Steelers. They have ridden him hard today. Again, the Steelers offense has been on the field so through 3 quarters. They had 46 plays to 19 or something like that. But there's Rocky Blyer, and Blyer, who has been stuffed for much of the day, gets the first down there. Pick up of 10 out to the 49. First down Steelers. Click on the stop. High formation. Willie Parker playing dinged up. Only his 2nd carry of the game, but he gets 2 there. Into Oilers territory to the 49. Wayne notes Baltimore, the only city in the U.S. that has a Super Bowl champion, a CFL champion, and a USFL champion. It's a nice bit of trivia there. I like that. Swung out into the flat. That's Blyer. Down to the 46. It'll be 3rd and 4. Good tackle there by George Webster. High formation. What can the Steelers dial up here? 3rd and 4. Roethlisberger back to pass. Looking. Still looking, and he doesn't have anything there, and Roethlisberger decides not to force it. So they're going to play the possession battle here. Got to think they're going to punt. on 4th and 4. Good job by the Oilers secondary. So the Steelers are going to punt. They're going to try to pin the Oilers deep here. A lot of pressure on Colquitt. And he does not hit a good one here. Colquitt hooks it, and all he's asked to do there is pin the Oilers deep, and he puts it out of bounds on the 25. That is a shank job by Colquitt, and that is just a brutal one for Pittsburgh. Oilers start from their 25 into the flat. Campbell out in the open. Jack Ham not having it. Loss of 6. Jack Ham brings Campbell down. Well, the Steelers clearly had a game plan in this one to try to neutralize Campbell, and it has worked. This Steelers defense has looked terrific today. Again, only 3 of those Oilers points are on offense. They have 2 defensive touchdowns. Low throw there. Hennigan has to go down for it. Makes the catch, but can't do anything after the catch. It's a 3rd and 6. Coming up on 4 minutes left. This is a huge 3rd down stop here for the Steelers. Campbell checks out. Henry checks in. Landon drops back. Pass. Batted away. Mel Blount. Terrific coverage. Knocks it away. Broken up. Blount comes up with a huge defense there. And it'll be 4th down for the Oilers, who will have to punt. 4 minutes even left. Terrific coverage from Mel Blount with a big defensive play. Good punt there from Brett Kern, who hammers that one. And the Steelers will start from their own 18. 3:54 remaining. 17-9 Oilers. Handoff. Oh boy. Big hit there. Greg Bingham, who's had a great season, but relatively quiet. He does have 5 tackles. But blows through, brings down Blyer. Loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. Teams have all 3 timeouts. Roethlisberger drops back. Steps to the right, didn't see anything downfield, puts it into the flat, and that's a nothing play right there. Tony Banfield comes up, brings Blyer down. So now it's 3rd and 15 for the Steelers. Trips down to the low side. Roethlisberger drops back. Stands. Fires. Incomplete, and it'll be 4th, and I think you got to punt here this deep in your own territory. If you're Pittsburgh, you've got to punt and hope that your defense calls for a 3 and out. Back on your own 13, you're basically giving the Oilers a field goal. If you go for it here and don't get it, but they're going to go for it. A huge, risky play here. I get it. I would just put my faith in the defense. Roethlisberger stands back. Fires, incomplete, and the Oilers will take over. Oilers take over from the 13-yard line. Oh, boy. I'll tell you, I usually don't get that invested for like one team in these games. I feel for the Steelers here because the Steelers have put on a great effort today, and they're going to come up short. Hand off Derrick Henry. Henry brought down. Lambert, another tackle. That should get us down close to the 2-minute warning. We'll see if the Steelers elect to use one of their timeouts before the 2-minute mark. I actually would have used one of the timeouts here. But they're going to let it go down to the 2-minute warning. 17-9 Oilers trying to stay a perfect 6-0. They have not done much offensively in this one. Henry. Brought down, fumble! Fumble! Who has it? The Oilers recover. The Oilers recover. Oh boy, Henry lost the ball there. That would have been huge. But the Oilers fall on it. Third, a booth review. Huh. Let's see. Oh, he was down already anyway. All right. So it's a moot point. I guess that might affect the spot of the ball, possibly. Yeah, that's what it was. It affected the spot of the ball by a yard. All right. So 3rd and 5 for the Oilers. From the Steelers' 8. Landa drops back. It's surprising there. Pass over the middle, but it works. Touchdown, Alvin Reed, and the Oilers are going to put the touches on this game. We love the little graphical glitches like that when they happen. Alvin Reed doing a little Forrest Gump running into the dressing room. But Reed with the score over the middle from Blanda, his 15th touchdown pass of the season. And I'll tell you, this is a game where the scoreboard is not going to tell the full story. The Steelers have been really impressive here today, particularly their defense. But the Oilers find a way. It'll be interesting to see if Bradshaw gets shipped. That's going to take a little bit of work on my part to come up with a trade mechanism to evaluate trade. I mean, again, you can certainly get something if you're going to be committed to Roethlisberger as the guy after he replaced Bradshaw. Bradshaw's a guy who you should certainly be able to get a lot for if you ship him out. There are certainly teams that can use Bradshaw. Again, Wayne's Ravens among them. Antonio Brown brought down at the 19. 1:49 left. Don Meredith is singing, but the Steelers are going to try to get this one down the field quickly and cling to a prayer. Pressure from the outside. Roethlisberger takes a shot. It's incomplete. 17 of 28, but only 130 yards passing for Roethlisberger. Again, the Steelers played a ball control, run-heavy offense. And they moved the ball well. But Roethlisberger picked off for the pick six in the Oilers' red zone early. And then on the subsequent drive, fumbled near midfield on the sack from Elvin Bethea. George Webster took it to the house. Back-to-back drives ended with defensive touchdowns for the Oilers. That has carried them here, 24-9, a minute 41 left. It is the best team today. Didn't win, but this has been a fun one. But, I just like the Steelers, especially after they... Oh, boy, well, that's going to be the capper on this one. Roethlisberger picked off by Johnston. Having to go down the field there. Second pick from Ben. Mark Johnston with the interception. That one didn't look great coming out of the hand. Well, Johnston just put the brakes on, read that one well, and picks it off. Got to figure the Oilers will just stay on the ground here. Tim, how are you, buddy? Play baseball fan. Coup de grace losses at INT. Yeah, for sure. If you're the Steelers, you got to claim that the good stuff that you've done today. Again, your defense has been excellent. And two of those Oilers points on defensive touchdowns. So the Steelers have shaken off their early season defensive struggles, and they moved the ball very well for much of the day. Those two defensive touchdowns for the Oilers, both coming to stop what were good drives from the Steelers. So the Steelers have something to build on here. They'll fall to 3-3 here in this one. There's big Earl Campbell just dragging people in the fourth. Steelers will use their last timeout. Wayne Woodruff, who had that costly pass interference penalty earlier that kept the Oilers' drive going, that led to their field goal. Now that the Steelers can't stop the clock anymore, Landa will take a knee. Now, this is absolutely a situation where the Madden glitch is going to happen, where they're going to run a real running play here on second down. I would almost guarantee it. for no real reason. Yep, here we go. So now they go to the shotgun. They'll probably be a draw to Henry. They're not going to throw it. They'll run a handoff here after kneeling. There's Henry. Henry's brought down. And again, that's one of those stupid little Madden. Like most of the Madden glitchy, buggy stuff is minor. But when it happens, it's just like, how did nobody see this during testing? That's totally stupid. And now they'll go back and they'll take the knee here and let the clock run out. Let's see if the glitch happens where they run the field goal team out now to rush a field goal, and somehow the field goal team gets on the field in 5 seconds. Yeah, no, that's a little bit too short. If that play happens and there's like 12 seconds left, they would rush the field goal team out there and get a field goal with 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock. But what does happen is the Oilers improve to 6-0, the defending champs. And they just continue to do it. I mean, they're not rated as one of the top teams. And last year, they just kind of had a knack for pulling wins out of their hat. And again, they kind of do the same thing here in this one. The Steelers had the better of the play for most of this game. But the Oilers come up with enough big plays to get it done. I mean, Earl Campbell, the league's leading rusher, the Steelers held him to 19 carries for 43 yards today. Landa threw for 160 yards, and the Steelers still come up short. That's a frustrating one for Pittsburgh, but an impressive win nonetheless. Certainly got to give the Oilers credit for basically being outplayed, as Dwayne mentioned, and still coming out of it with the win. 210 yards on the ground for the Steelers, only 56 for the Oilers. Neither team went over 150 in passing yards. 3 turnovers for the Steelers. That is, that if you're a -3 in turnovers, you're going to have a hard time winning many games for sure. But I do wish I could get the game to call more penalties. I mean, usually it's more than this, but usually it's like 3 a team, 4, something like that. I've got the penalty sliders maxed. It's just a Madden buggy thing. I have no idea if they fixed that in Madden 26. Because once I realized Madden didn't fix their issues with the team builder thing that they did, it just made no sense for me to bother even getting the new game. I'm not going to recreate 1,500 players for a game that does not seem to have really advanced itself much over the last 2 years. So you see the Anderson field goal, Lick and Webster. Lick 86-yard pick six. Webster, 59-yard fumble return. That is 3 minutes and 16 seconds apart. And those two plays basically made up this game. Field goals the rest of the way. That Alvin Reed kind of last nail in the coffin there for the Steelers. Those are player stats. Landa, 16 of 25 for 160, a touchdown. Longest pass completion for the Oilers was 18 yards. Roethlisberger, 17 of 30. For 130, no touchdowns. The 2 interceptions certainly hurt. Dick Hoke, again, that's probably as many rushing yards as Hoke had in all of year one. Hoke, of course, running for the injured Willie Parker. Rocky Bleier, only 23 yards there. Henry, 7 for 15. Campbell, 19 for 43. Again, both of those guys have averaged over 5 yards a carry so far this season for the Oilers. So again, the Steelers certainly had some good things to take out of this game, but a loss is a loss. Not going to take many moral victories in this great sport of football. So appreciate you all tuning in. Nice to get an afternoon broadcast out of the way. Again, I know I did that broadcast kind of updating people on things on the channel a couple weeks ago, that broadcasting a little bit less frequently. I'm not disappearing by any stretch of the imagination. It's just kind of budgeting my time a little bit better. Again, there's health stuff that plays into that. Nothing that's drastic. Just trying to take a little bit better care of myself and use the free time that I have a little bit more judiciously. And also, again, just to get the pace of these seasons going through a little bit more. So it just kind of ended up being where broadcasts were kind of making time for a broadcast was dictating the pace at which I moved this along. And that's just not a good way to go about this, because I will never get through numbers of seasons And again, the whole way I've set this up as a career mode, franchise mode, players coming in at different stages down the line, not all the greats are starting at once. The benefit of how I set this up will never be felt if I'm not getting through seasons at a quicker pace than I am. So just kind of still trying to kind of find that sweet spot to move things along a little bit quicker while still giving people feeling of what's going on in the leagues and stuff like that. But I will certainly be streaming. It'll just kind of be as a kind of as it comes basis. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Good trio in here this afternoon. Our good friend Dwayne Martz. Greg Gorecki was in here as well. Our good friend Tim, Clee baseball fan, checking in on the back end. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. I may have a stream of some sort tomorrow, possibly a Week 7 broadcast. We'll see. I don't want to do the hockey league. I don't want to do a preview of that until I get at least half the teams done, and I'm not at that point yet. But the hockey league is coming, and 2 divisions of rookies are now entered for year 5 of the Franchise Stars Baseball League 2, so starting to make a little bit of progress on that front as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, gentlemen. Be good to each other, and we'll talk soon. The Oilers hold off the Steelers 24-9.